Here's your explanation for the book test. This is very simple mind reading at its best. Anywhere you go, you can always manage to find 2 books in someone's house or at any occasion. So this is a very impromptu trick because there's no setup involved. I haven't prearranged anything at this point. So here we are. You're with a spectator and you have 2 books. These can be 2 books selected by them, their choice. Here's the setup. As I go through the first book, I'm going to open the book and I'm going to explain to the spectator that you can see this is an ordinary book. Every single page in this book is different. At which point I will glance at one point in this book at a page when I see something interesting to me. So at my point of view right now, I see the page 50 and the first 3 words are item of business. Okay? Once you get a little bit of practice with this trick, you can manage to remember a sentence or a few words versus just the first word in the book. But I would recommend you start doing this by just saying, look and memorize the first word on the top corner of that page. So as I'm scrolling through, I'm showing them that the book is different. All the pages are different. Something hits me that looks like a good choice of words, and I'm remembering in my mind page 50, items of business. As I continue to show them this book, all the pages are different. Once I've done that, I close the book. Here we go. Page 50, item of business. That's all I have to remember. Now this book, it doesn't really matter. I can just say, look, and this book. As you can see, all the pages are different. And this is an ordinary book. Now I'm going to ask the spectator to choose a book. Now this is a magician's choice, so they really don't have a choice. I'm going to say, choose a book for them. Would you like this book or this book? Now if they choose this book, that's perfect because this is the book I want them to have in their hands. So I'm going to say, okay, great. You can take this book. If I say, which book would you like me to use in this presentation? If they say this book, you can say, okay, I will take this book and you may hold on to this book. Either way, they're always going to end up with this book. Now, here's what I'm going to ask the spectator to take this book, hold it in their hands. I'm going to say, I'm going to pass my finger through these pages and I want you to say stop whenever you like. So now I can begin to rip slowly through the pages. In this case, I'm only page 50, so I need to go fairly slow. They'll say stop whenever you like. They're going to say stop. Now it doesn't matter where I am in this book. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to open that book right there. I'm going to look at the book and I'm going to say page 50. Now it doesn't matter if I'm on page 60, 70, or 125. I'm going to say, okay, page 50, that's where you stopped. I close my book and say, please turn to page 50. Now the setup is done. They think that this is a random selection. I already prearranged that they're going to be on page 50 of their book. So I'll say page 50. Please turn to page 50 in your book. This is when they're going to turn to page 50 in their book. And the first 3 words on that page is going to be item of business. Now I'm going to give them a pad and paper and say, do me a favor. I'd like for you to write down the first word of text in the top on that page, on page 50. Now, I usually say if it's a heading or something, they can ignore that, but I want the first word of text. So they're going to see that the word is item. And I could say, and once you get better at this, as I mentioned, I can say, in fact, you can use a couple words if you like. I know they're not going to go past item of business because then they're getting into a whole other sentence. So take the first word or the first couple words. I'd like you to memorize that in your mind. And then close your book. Now they've done that. They close their book. They're going to write it down on a piece of paper. They're going to write down item of business. When they've done that, I ask them to take the paper, hold it to their heart, and I'm going to proceed in trying to read their mind and determine what it is they wrote on the paper. And now, from this point on, it is all just acting and role-playing, as if you're trying to read their mind. Okay? You can begin by saying, you're thinking of a word or a few words. There's no way I could know. Concentrate. Concentrate. You're thinking of more than one word. Am I right? And you're going to role-play this entire thing out until you come up with item of business. Is that what you wrote on your paper? And they're going to say yes. At that point you can say, can I see it for the very first time? And there it is, item of business. Depending on the sentence or the word that you force on them, you can also somehow relate that to real situations. In my case with Giselle, she chose the word sister was in her sentence. So I say, you know, I'm seeing the word, I'm seeing like something that has to do with siblings involved here. It is the word sister. So again, it's all role-playing and acting, and you're going to wind up with an incredible piece of mind reading that is just going to blow their mind. And there you have it. That's your explanation for the book test.